I'm holding this device that's small enough to fit in the palm of my hand, yet powerful enough to map this entire space in 3D. It's called Moasure 2 Pro, and I'm going to show you how I use it. I'm going to pop it in the foot or the cradle here. Turning it on, it's as simple as 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or opposite depending on how the camera's looking. Then I'm going to launch the app. Let me do a screen recording for you all as well. So I've launched the app. I'm going to select the plus sign right down the bottom and do close shape because I want to capture this whole perimeter and all the zones in between. And because I'm going to do layers, I'm going to make sure that my first edge is as long and as straight as possible. Placing it down, the light goes from red to green. We're good to go. All cylinders are firing. Place it down. So for the first long run, I've got a straight line on here, and I'm going to move to where the straight line turns into a sweeping edge, and rather than guess it and eyeball it, I'm going to select the arc, and I'm going to get 3 points: the start, the middle, and look what happens when I get to the end. You're going to see a perfectly beautiful defined arc right there in the corner, back into straight line, and then off we go. Now this Moasure 2 Pro, it's a motion-based measuring device, which means that when I come to obstacles like this, I can actually measure through it. Now I'm going to actually walk around it, and you're going to see that's drawing a line this one. You're going to wonder, am I lost? Which way am I going? But I'm going to fix this with 1 or 2 clicks right at the end of the measurement. Historically, if I'm having to measure through obstacles back in the old days, I'm having to get my string line, wrestle with that, hammer in anchor pins or offset pins or something or whatever. Let's go back to arc again. And if I'm doing that, that's taking an age, whereas with Moasure 2 Pro, I can just walk around the obstacles and not worry about it. Now, I said you can capture the start, the middle, and the end, but you can actually capture as many points as you want, and Moasure 2 Pro is going to draw a best fit arc right through all of those points. And off we go again, and we come to this obstacle. Like I said, I don't have to worry about setting up tripods, any heavy measuring equipment, or hammering in 100 stakes or pins just to walk around an obstacle. I can just do it in Moasure 2 Pro, and you're going to see at the end that it's going to measure a straight line all the way through that. So Moasure 2 Pro, it works with accelerometers and gyros and all sorts of gadgetry, wizardry that's inside of there, whirring away, measuring it multiple times per second. It doesn't need GPS. It's not searching the skies or the satellites for GPS. It's not searching the airwaves for mobile phone signal or Wi-Fi. It's literally just using its accelerometers and its motion-based measuring instrumentation that's in here to, sorry, I'm just making sure that I need to do another little bit of a straight line, then go back to arc. This is what I like about Moasure 2 Pro, is that it's got a path type for every eventuality. Now, I forgot what I was saying there. I think I was talking about the fact that, you know, it's mapping and tracing this space by me just moving. And there we are, right at the end. I've got this whole space all mapped out. Now we can see that there's 2 lines protruding out where I have to walk around the fences. This is how easy it is to correct. I select the point that I don't want because I want to ignore it. I go to edit, scroll along to ignore. Can you see what's happening there? That line that was protruding or coming out is now snapping right to the boundary, which is exactly what I want. Let's do it with the other one as well. And now we have a true representation of this space. Now, it's hard enough measuring an irregular shape, which is what this is, but now I want to capture all of these play zones, and I want them orientated and overlaid correctly to this whole boundary. So I'm going to go to my, in fact, I've got to save this first. Let's press save, and everything's neatly organized in here. So let's go to the correct folder, playground, and then give it a name. I'll call it Sutton Park Playground. So I'm not the fastest typing. There we go. Now, like I'm saying, because we want to capture all of these zones, On here I'm going to go to layers, add a layer, place it down on my origin point along my first reference edge, and because I've got my baseline, my reference edge already locked in, it now means that all of these spaces that I'm going to capture are going to be orientated and located correctly relative to the boundary I've already captured. Let's go back to straight line, and off we go. All of the edges are being captured. Can you see in near real time this shape is being drawn out? I don't have a notepad with me. I don't have a pen or paper. I don't even have a crew. Like back in the old days, I would have lots of string line. I'd be trying to work out the geometry, the trigonometry, I'd be doing the math. It would be taking an age. Whereas with Moasure, I'm just literally putting one foot after the other and walking around. And now that I'm here at this corner, I'm just going to press the pen icon, tap text, and I'm going to give this a label. And I've not been on one of these for years and years and years, but I believe it's called a roundabout. Let's press apply there, and you can see that I've got a note on there. Press stop, and that shape is now perfectly layered within this whole playground space. Let's go do another layer while we're at it. Save that, by the way. I want to add a layer. Light goes from red to green. It's just so quick, so snappy, so intuitive. Now, because we're adding layers, I'm going to go over here. Can you see that it's not actually drawing anything on the screen, which is exactly what I want, because it's in ignore line, and when I get to the space I want to measure, I can just switch over to straight line. And with the moment I do that, place it down, you're going to see that it's drawing near real time. This is so quick. And you heard me mention before that we need to place it down every 6 to 8 seconds, but I like to place it down and never let it go into the green, which is a little bit quicker. And you might think that you're losing 1 or 2 seconds in terms of measuring time, but I actually think that you're ahead, because remember, this is drawing it all out live, and you don't have to sit down and draw it out afterwards. It's all doing it in 3D as well, so I think you're ahead and you get a more accurate measurement as well. Let's just label this up as well. In fact, I'll press the microphone this time. Add a label. You won't understand my accent, so I'll type it in. What's this? I think it's called a surf rider. There we go. Now press stop. That's captured. We've got 3 more zones to go, so hit time lapse. I'm going to do them quickly, come back to you at the end and show you the whole thing that's all pulled together. Back into straight line. Now, techniques that I use to ensure a really accurate measurement is that between each space I move quick and then I place it down gently. And also when I'm got a change in direction, I make sure I don't rotate it like this, but I rotate it slowly, a smooth rotation over the course of that run that I've done. And this ensures that by the time I get to the end, that I'm going to have a very accurate, realistic depiction or representation of this space. And one more, back to the origin point. Press stop and make sure I save it. And there we have it. The total perimeter, the total area of this whole space, and all of the multiple play zones orientated and overlaid correctly within this whole playground area. Let's say that we wanted, for surfacing reasons, to know what the area was of just the paths. I can go to my layers, I can select area calculator, and I've got my base layer. I'll keep my base layer there, and all the other layers, all the other zones, I can just drag them down just like this. This is how easy it is. Can you see that the net area is being calculated for surfacing all the paths? Another trick that we have here as well is that to make it nice, neat and visually attractive to look at and organized is all of the different layers on here can be given different colors. So let's just do that quickly. I'll leave the base layer the color that it is. Select the three dots at the end. Let's go gray for this one. Let's choose red maroon. There we go. We'll go orange. This is how quick it is to do blue, and let's go lavender. And now you can see that it's all colored, so it's all organized. Another thing we can do as well is that I can add annotations for each play zone so that we can be even more organized and know where we are. So go again to the edit button, go annotate, and we've got a climbing frame over there. So I'm not the fastest typer. But the beautiful thing about this is that I'm doing this while I'm on site. It's all taken minutes. I don't have to wait till I go home or back to the studio, back to the office. There I got the climbing frame. Let's do one more. Annotate. Let's do the rocking horse. There we have it. It's perfectly layered and it's beautifully clean using Moasure 2 Pro.